years, Nigeria has been faced with the issue of gender base, especially in the aspect of women engagement in power and governance. In order to increase advocacy on gender balance, Gender Strategy Advancement International organized a capacity building workshop for reporters and editors in collaboration with MacArthur Foundation and Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism. Adora Onyechere, the head Women Affairs and Gender-Based Cluster during the capacity building workshop held in Abuja, said the aim of the training is to be able to get the media to do the needful in terms of giving the right reportage on gender-based issue and inclusion of women in governance. The convener of Say No campaign, Ezewa Nwagu, said the gender equality is not only about female alone but both male inclusive, and urged the government to create more seats for women in the parliament as it is done in other countries.
For appointive positions, then it's discretionary. At that point, you just have to ensure that there is balance, there is equity, and there is no discrimination. And many times when people talk about gender, they denominate it around women. It's not true. It's about everyone. It's about boys, girls, men, women, in a lens that ensures that everything is equitable and just. So we're going to begin to have conversations with political parties. For instance, I don't support tokenism. I don't support free tickets. Okay, I don't support free tickets. Free tickets means that there is no equity in free tickets. What you should do is to say there are certain positions, or you can create more seats in parliament, like they do in Rwanda, Uganda, and some other places, where you say these seats are for women, people living with disabilities, and such marginalized groups. So, for instance, we have 109 Senate positions. You can increase it to by 10, by 15, by 20, and say that those positions can only be competed for by women. That way you are putting affirmation to the process.
He further called on all women to show their voting strength as women top the chart in terms of voters registration.
The dominant political parties do not have women as vice presidential candidates, and many of the women who even have seats, it looks like they have lost those seats both in the legislature. So what we need to do is to ensure that we have voting strength. Women show this strength. They are topping the chart in terms of the registration process. Bring that capacity into voting so that we can then disaggregate and say, look, in 2023, women voted this percentage. And on the strength of that, you can then negotiate. You understand what I'm saying? But if we don't see that in terms of the voting strength of women, it may be difficult to make this call even for appointive positions. Because at the end of the day, politics is about what did you bring to the table? What are you putting to the table? It is not a motive conversation. It's a motion. You don't say, oh, because I am a woman. They will ask you, what is your contribution? And I'm seeing more and more women getting interested, participating effectively, and let's see how that translates into voting during the 2023 elections.
Francis Oyewole, project head, said the political party structure should be amended to accommodate more women and laws should be implemented instead.
You recall, when I was making that presentation, I didn't actually present recommendations, and that was intentional because though we have some recommendations on the research, we wanted to be able to leverage on this training to get other input in terms of recommendations so that the consideration of what that recommendation is will be broad. But on our own side, one of the recommendations that we have on our report is that the political party structure should be looked into in terms of making more allowance for women, because we've come to understand that the bedrock of political participation, it's actually determined right from the political parties. So they have the strength and they have the capability to be able to change the situation. Because if we're able to get more women taking up leadership positions at the political party level, it will actually eventually translate into more women being elected into office at general elections. And that's why when that bill on the floor of the House suffered the setback, it was quite touching, because one of the bills was pushing for more female leadership at the political party level. So that's one key recommendation we have in our research, among others.
Uju Nwachukwu, head of program Kiss FM, who gave the keynote address during the capacity building workshop, urged on media practitioners to build more content about women and girls in order to let them know they matter a lot.
Media can actually be in their favor, and if the media is in their favor, it encourages them to speak up from time to time, to reawaken us to the responsibility that we have towards holding leadership accountable, and while we're doing that, also doing our part as the people who hold the power, and that is us in the media space.
Dorcas Olariwaju, Voice TV, Nigeria.